Let's talk about NotebookLM. If you haven't heard about NotebookLM, it is revolutionizing education and how we support all learners, but particularly those with learning disabilities. We're going to look at how to upload files to NotebookLM and then all the ways we can transform files to support students who maybe struggle with comprehension, struggle with decoding, need auditory materials, need infographics. NotebookLM can pretty much do it all. So we're going to go over to the website, notebooklm.google, and click Try NotebookLM. And it's going to have you log in with your Google ID. And then we're going to click Create New Notebook. And now we're going to upload all of our resources that we have. These can be PDFs, these can be files on our computer or our Google Drive. They could be links to YouTube channels, or we can even type in and look for new sources. So we're going to play with the fall of the Roman Empire and see what it comes up with. And then I also have sources to add of my own. In the classroom, I would load my PDFs, my textbook, whatever I'm using with my students. I always want to make sure that the material that I'm uploading, I've reviewed to make sure it aligns with my learning goals. For this demo, we're going to import these guys. Now all of my files are uploaded, and you'll notice that it's giving me a brief summary here of what my documents included. We're going to do audio overview, slide deck, video overview. For video overview, it's going to ask you to select your style. This is the art that you're going to use. What style do you want it to look like? I'm going to go with heritage. And then it says, what should I focus on? Focus on the timeline of events leading to the fall of the Roman Empire. Also focus on key figures and hit generate. Make a mind map, report. There's several different options for reports. I could make a study guide, a briefing document, a blog post, and then even some other suggestions will pop up. We're going to do a briefing document, which will serve as guided notes almost. I can do flashcards. I can make a quiz. I can make an infographic. I could make a data table, but there's really not going to be any data. While those are loading, I can also interact here. Tell me about the 5 key concepts. Okay, so now it's answered the 5 top key concepts like I asked it to. And we can look over here and we have our studio. So first we have an audio overview. That's your podcast. We can click on the pencil. We can decide, is it going to be a deep dive, a brief, a critique, or a debate? And I'm going to do a debate. And I want to debate. Now I can talk about the things for the AI hosts to focus on. Was the size of the Roman Empire the cause of its collapse, or was it poor leadership? Debate. I'm going to hit generate. I can also edit my slide deck. So I'm going to do presenter slides. And I want it to focus on key personnel and timeline of events. I want it default, short or long, can change the language. Make my video overview. It's going to ask me my style. I'm going to go heritage, and I want it to, let's see, let's focus on the main causes for the fall and the impact of leadership. I can make a mind map, generate reports. Got a couple different types. I got a briefing doc, a study guide, and a blog post. And I'm going to do the briefing document. I can do flashcards. Don't want them fewer, a lot, easy, medium, hard. What do I want it to focus on? Do key vocabulary and major dates. I can do a quiz. Same thing. What do I want it to focus on? I can do an infographic. Again, this is the style that I want it in. Editorial. Focus on key dates and key events. Could also make a data table, but that's not really relevant to our topic. So let's look at our sources it's generating. So you'll see it takes a while to generate some of the bigger ones, but we can pop into the mind map. You can see the mind map is just as simple. Here's my topic, and here's all the pieces that come out of it. And then I can go ahead and expand it, download it. All right, here's my quiz. So I have a multiple choice quiz. It gives me immediate feedback. And then my overview, I can go through and I can say, remake my briefing doc at the 3rd grade reading level. There it is. I can look at my timeline, my infographic. Fun fact, I learned that you can download your infographic and then upload it to Canva to make changes to the text. Now let's look at the slideshow. So it created these slides for me, my timeline slides, which are pretty detailed. Pictures are really relevant. So we're going to pop in and look at the video. And we're going to hit play. So remember, all I did was give it the PDFs and it created everything else. We're going to skip through a little bit.
Convergence of crises all hitting at once. I mean, just imagine, you got constant warfare on the frontiers, an economy being hollowed out, these horrible plagues, a military... The good military advice he was getting. He just charged headfirst into a disaster, all for a bit of personal vanity.
So I didn't give it any of the slide backgrounds or any of the slides at all. It's generating all of this, including the voice. And then finally, we're going to pop into the podcast. And while all of these things are super cool, the podcast is still, I think, top notch as far as supports because it has an interactive feature. All right, so you can see that the deep dive has this little hand over here, which means we can interact with it. So we're going to go ahead and click that. And now the podcast is going to play.
So I want you to picture the year 1873.
Remember, those are fake people.
The British Empire is at the absolute peak of its global power, right? It's an untouchable superpower of industry and conquest.
Right, supreme confidence.
Exactly. And in the middle of all that confidence, the French artist Gustave Doré produces this really striking, honestly, kind of haunting illustration.
I know the one.
So I can go ahead and click join and I can ask a question about the information.
Desolate wasteland and society. Oh, wait, someone wants to join. Hey, go for it.
Hey, I was wondering if you could tell me how this painting of London relates to the fall of the Roman civilization.
That is a fantastic question, and it's the perfect entry point for what we're discussing today.
Absolutely. The illustration is a symbolic answer to the very question we were asking about Rome.
Okay, let's unpack this. The core connection is the idea of unimaginable collapse.
Right. For centuries, Rome felt like the ultimate permanent civilization.
Just like London felt to the Victorians. The Doré painting forces the Victorians to imagine their own civilization reduced to dust. Go for it.
Can you give me an analogy that I can understand that relates the Roman Empire fall and the painting to maybe modern day?
Wow, that is a fantastic request.
We can absolutely do that. That really helps make the concept stick.
Okay, let's unpack this using a modern analogy for collapse.
Think about the internet, or maybe even just a major global social media platform.
Say, one that feels completely universal and permanent to us right now.
Exactly. Imagine if one day, due to some massive geopolitical or technological shift,
maybe a massive solar flare or a cyber attack that just permanently destroys the infrastructure.
yes, that platform which holds our communication, our commerce, our history.
All of our collective memories and connections just vanished.
And 500 years from now, archaeologists are digging through servers.
They find these broken fragments of data, maybe a few straight images or half-written posts.
The future New Zealander in the painting is that archaeologist.
They're standing in the ruins of our digital London, trying to piece together a civilization that genuinely thought it was untouchable.
The permanence of the platform, the Roman Empire or Victorian London, was always an illusion.
So what does this all mean for Rome?
It means we're looking at a structure that felt permanent to its citizens, but was built on fragile systems.